If you do a Google search on housing market crash 2020, there are over 80 million results. That's 80 million different articles written by 80 million different people, all on the housing crash of 2020. Most of them have been written since the COVID-19 problem surfaced, a month or so ago. Most of those are comparing the current housing market to the housing market crash of 2008. I want to talk about why those comparisons just don't work. I'm going to go over 5 things that make that comparison fail. Hello, welcome to our favorite YouTube channel. I am Mike Lavoie. I, along with my wife Paula, are realtors here in the Tampa Bay area. We have been helping people with probably the largest financial transaction most will ever make, the purchase or sale of their homes. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Tampa Bay area, we would love to talk to you. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button down below. Hit that notification bell as well, and we will send you a note the next time our videos are published, which should be next Thursday. Go ahead, give it a try. Well, no, actually, wait until the video is over. But do a search on Housing Market Crash 2020. There are actually 80 million results. Almost all are comparing the current market with the market of 2005 through 2008, probably because it was the most recent recession and people have a very solid memory of it. However, I don't believe that those two are comparable. Before we get into that, let's look at the last 5 recessions. Housing prices in the last 5 recessions have actually been up 3 years out of those 5. Even during the Great Depression in the 1920s and 30s, prices only decreased 7%, and that was with a 27% unemployment over 7 or 8 years. Yes, 2005 through 2008 was a very special time in history, and I think the biggest problem there was greed. The most publicized culprit was the mortgage companies. Yes, they were making loans to buyers that should have never gotten a loan. But there was a ton of pressure, political and economic, pushing them into those loans. A lot of home buyers getting into these loans were not able to sustain the payments. I mean, really, people were earning $25,000 a year were qualifying for a $300,000 mortgage. How did they ever think that was going to work? Their plan was to get an ARM loan, keep the home for a couple of years, and then sell at a huge profit. An ARM loan is an adjustable rate mortgage. The interest rate starts out pretty low, and each year it increases. As that rate increases, so does the monthly payment. Home prices were going up 25-30% a year, and it was never going to stop. Their friends were flipping homes and no money down, making hundreds of thousands of dollars, supposedly. So why can't everyone? Speculation, aka flipping houses, was running wild. I had people who wanted to buy condos with no money down, pre-construction, and try to sell them before they closed on that condo. Builders and mortgage companies were doing it, and they were happy all the way to the bank. It was insane. Then there was those mortgage-backed securities that blew up. Fannie Mae was under political pressure, backing those loans as sound financial instruments. Traditionally, they were very sound investments. However, as we know, a good portion of those traditionally sound mortgages were junk. That whole house of cards folded in 2008, starting with the price of homes. Combined with the tighter loan underwriting and the failure of those mortgage-backed securities, new buyers coming into the market couldn't get a mortgage. Homeowners with those ARMs, now 5 years into the home, have seen their monthly payments go from $1,500 to $3,000. They can no longer afford the payments. And they can't sell the home for the profit that they planned. Millions of people simply walked away from the home and let it go into foreclosure. The rest is history. So now every economist in the country is trying to predict the next recession. They all want their 5 minutes of fame. Let's be clear, there is no way to do that. No one, including me, has a crystal ball where we can see into the future. That being said, there was a recent survey done that included the top 100 economists in the country. No, I do not know what makes them top economists. Of those 100 economists, 21 said there was going to be a recession in 2019. 46 say there will be a recession this year, 2020. 24 expect a recession in 2021 and 10% in 2022. The common standard for recession is 2 quarters of negative growth. We are into the second month of the first quarter with potential negative growth. Let's see how it turns out. The part I find really weird is that those same economists predict a continued appreciation of housing prices over the next 5 years. Economists to this day cannot explain why housing prices do not correlate to recessions. Okay, so let's get to the points that I believe make the market different from 2005 to 2008. Number one, home appreciation. Historical appreciation is in the 4 to 6 range. The 6 years prior to the 2008 crash, appreciation was much higher. The lowest was over 6%, with the highest appreciation in 2004 at over 12%. Housing prices peaked in early 2006 and started dropping by the end of the year. This chart shows a very volatile market from 2000 to 2005. Over the last 6 years, the chart on the right shows a very stable increase in the home values. These are national numbers. Here in Tampa Bay, prices increased about 5.3% over last year. Number two, mortgage credit. The Mortgage Credit Availability Index is a monthly measure published by the Mortgage Bankers Association. The higher the index number, the easier it is to get a loan. At the peak of the last bubble in 2008, the index was over 868. That is an all-time high. The quote of the day for underwriting a loan was, "Can the applicant fog a mirror?" Basically, if you could sign an application, you could get a loan. Currently, we're at 133. It is 6 times harder to get a loan than it was in 2006. Today, the borrower actually has to show income, assets, and prove they're capable of making the monthly payments. OMG, they have to have a decent credit score. Homes for sale. In the boom years leading up to the crash, everybody was putting their home on the market. At that time, I lived in a cul-de-sac over in Carrollwood. The guy on the other side of the cul-de-sac put his place up on the market, put a sign in the yard, and took it down the same day. He had several offers and accepted one. Homeowners across the country, especially in hot markets like Tampa, were selling their homes in days, if not hours. Builders were creating new developments on every acre they could lay their hands on. A neutral market is 6 to 7 months of inventory. What that means is that if no new homes are put on the market, there will be no homes to sell in 6 or 7 months. Looking at this chart, you can see that the monthly supply of homes skyrocketed. Combine that with easy underwriting and homeowners planning to make a big buck, prices naturally had to start to drop. Excess inventory equals lower prices. Inventory peaked just over a 12-month supply in early 2009. We all remember those days, and it wasn't pretty. The current national market is a seller's market, meaning that there are more buyers than sellers. That's why prices have not dropped significantly. Currently, we're at about a 5.3 month supply nationally, and it's close to 3 months locally here in Tampa. I am sure there will be a slight increase in inventory due to COVID-19. Sellers are still putting their home on the market. However, buyers are staying at home. Something about that stay-at-home order. Number 4, the use of home equity. Remember, in the run-up to the 2008 crash, people were experiencing huge increases in equity. A large number of them were planning on living there for a few years and were going to sell it at a large profit and retire. Some of them were, what the heck? We deserve a European vacation. No, we deserve a new luxury boat, 45 feet at the minimum. Let's take out a second mortgage, pull out the cash, go for it. We'll just make it up next year when, the appreciation on the house goes up. Do you know how many $30,000 Harley Davidsons were purchased during that period of time? Over the 3-year period ending 2007, $824 billion, that's with a B, dollars were taken out as home equity loans. Sooner or later, the home stopped increasing in value. Prices actually decreased. Those homeowners already in financial trouble with the arm could not make the additional monthly payment on that equity loan. Guess what happened? Number 5, home equity today. Since the 2008 crash, people have learned the negative effects of overextending themselves, well, for the most part. Today, Americans are sitting on a tremendous amount of equity. Nationally, 30% of all homes owned are free and clear. Of the homes with a mortgage, 26.7% have more than 50% equity. Of all the homes in the country, 53% have at least 50% equity. We're seeing that as a realtors. Fully 30% of the homes purchased in the last year or so have been purchased with cash. Homeowners with equity have options if they get into financial trouble. Back in 05 and 06, people had very little equity. I believe the average is like 13 or 14%. A lot of people with no equity and no options because the homes were overvalued when they were purchased. Okay, so those are my reasons that comparing the current market to the crash of 08 cannot be made. They're not close. Trends are all over the place. We have low inventory. Buyers are still out there. The lending industry is much more regulated than it was before. Buyers actually have to prove they can afford the home. Yes, if the country continues to be shut down at some point in time, there is going to be a problem. I would imagine lenders will work with borrowers on restructuring payments. I mean, forbearance is one option. But we are so far away from that, it's not funny. Sure, there'll be a small percentage of people who have long-term financial problems because of COVID-19. The vast majority of Americans will be back at work, doing what they do best, being Americans. I am pretty certain that no one, including the government, wants to see the same problems that we had in the 08 to 012 period. If you have any questions or would like to just talk about this or anything about real estate in Tampa Bay area or just living in Tampa, or how many Harley-Davidsons were sold in the boom boom years, give me a call, 813-864-6370 at the office, or send me a text at 813-575-2124. If you haven't already done so, please click on that subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell as well. We would not want you to miss any of our upcoming videos. Hope to talk to you soon.